Peace be with you and welcome back to my channel for another video. I thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing, and also feeling free to click the notifications button so that if you like the content that I have here on my channel, you will get notifications every time I upload new content. So just a short description of how my channel works. I have a gift of channeling messages direct from the divine as I am supposed to the collective. So again, if my channel resonates with you, then you're more than welcome to stay. Nevertheless, let's get into this message. So message was real clear. Spirit says, physical transformation, spiritual downloads. So when we're walking our path and we're being true to who we are, speaking in our truth, walking in our truth, doing the things that we feel that God is asking us to do because that is what we know we should be doing, there is peace. There is reciprocity. It is a beautiful experience. Now, here is the thing. When you go through different levels, of which we will continue to go through levels for however long we need to in this life. And what I mean by levels is I mean literally a death, transformation, and rebirth. Those three things will continue to repeat themselves throughout the duration of your time here on this planet. Death, transformation, rebirth. Sometimes, oftentimes, in the process of the transformation, this is something that the spiritual practitioners don't talk about, and I don't know why, but I am going to be the one to mention it. Transformation. During the transformation process, your body physically goes through a metamorphosis, and I'm not kidding. It is real. You can feel it. Because the laws of metaphysics says that for anything that ails you, it is reflective of some unresolved emotion, issue, trauma, or pain that eventually manifests itself physically into the physical body. That is a real law. This is why positive thinking matters. It is a form of matter. In science, matter is something that holds weight. We are literal matter, walking, breathing energy on certain frequencies and certain evolutions and stages of our lives, depending on who you are, where you are, and how that resonates. So shall it be. So physically, I thought to myself, wow, nobody ever truly explained to me what your physical body goes through. Your physical body, depending on what is deep seated inside of your soul, excuse me, whatever is coming out and deep seated inside of you eventually comes to the surface on a physical level. So spiritually, I am moving to different heights. I'm purging, I'm releasing old toxic, whatever, relationships, habits, mindsets, whatever. The physical body, depending on how strong the physical body is holding on to those emotions, the body will go through physical ailments. It could come by way of, nasal congestion, chest congestion, a cough, right? Now, we want to lead ourselves to believe that we don't have any power over that. That is absolutely not the truth. As healers, as empaths, as those of us who understand the difference between the worlds, we know that that is not a physical reality. It's so easy to say, oh, girl, you just got a cold. But nobody else around you has a cold. And then if you Google cold, we still don't have a cure for the common cold. Interesting. Needless to say, it is all energy. So if you're in a situation that you're not willing to let go of, but the divine is moving you to levels where you're now walking in abundance, abundance of light, abundance of love, abundance of prosperity, abundance. Everything is big, bright, and abundant. And you've been advised to be obedient to that new level and to release people, places, and things and thoughts and ways of being that no longer can serve you at this level, right? So letting go of that should be easy, but the physical body sometimes doesn't want to let go. The physical body wants to hold on to certain mindsets because it's been programmed that way. So it's almost like imagining somebody being in a fight with themselves. It's almost like being in between two worlds, one foot in the past and one foot in the present. But the choice, free will, is yours. That's the beauty of this whole experience we call life. The physical body will go through things. So the other day, hence this lingering cough that I have, we're going to talk about that. Um, the other day, I said to myself just how much I really missed singing. And I hadn't sang in a while. I used to just sing and be in my house and singing, and my neighbors would be like, "Oh, we heard you singing." I'm like, "Really?" Right? Or somebody would catch me and be like, "Oh my God, your voice." And I'm like, "Really?" I did it at that time because it felt so good to me. Like I would sing and feel the Holy Spirit. I knew that the divine was using my voice to create some kind of a great melodic tone, and I felt so grateful. But something happened where I stopped singing. So the other day I said, I really miss singing. So then I dusted off my vocal cords, if you will, and started singing and hoping that I hadn't forgotten because I missed it so much. And I'm not exactly sure where I got derailed, but I wanted to get back to that gift because it felt so good to me. Do you know I sang for hours that day? It felt so good. I'm like, why did I ever stop this? Like, what happened? Right? Well, the answer came to that question as well because the next day my voice was completely gone. This is just 4 days ago. My voice was completely gone. And I'm like, oh Lord, please. I'm over here trying to grow, God, shine, go forth and be great, right? Use my gifts for what they're good for. What kind of a pop quiz is this? Because whatever it was that was lying dormant that had blocked my throat chakra from me speaking and singing the way I used to sing, the answer came the next day and my voice was gone. And I'm like, not only did I have to get quiet, I had to shut it all the way down. I'm like, oh, divine, why? But I'm doing the right thing. You know, we get into those human attitudes. It's so funny when we physically go through stuff. We're such brats. Oh, woe is me. I think I have a cold. No, you don't have a cold. Ain't nothing wrong. The divine is going to sit that ass down so that you can do a self check and so that the Holy Spirit can check every parts of you, yes, even your throat. And so as I began to get still, I remembered the reason and the situation that made me feel stifled, that made me feel like I didn't have a voice. And then the healing began. And let me just tell you, as you're getting these downloads, as you're asking the divine to help you, you got to be ready to go through the course. Now, you can make it easy easy on yourself or you can make it hard. That is free will. Because if it's hard, then you're going against the grain. Just imagine that like you're going against the divine. No crazy person would go against the divine. And if they decide to, let me tell you what it looks like: sickness, death, confusion. When the divine is saying, you fool, why are you going against me? Go with me. Trust me. Let me carry you. Let that go. And sometimes we're so powerful that it's just a simple thought. So the thing about those emotions is they have to be resolved immediately in the time that they are supposed to be resolved. If something happened 20 years ago, that problem should have never made it 20 years into the future. That problem should have been handled way back then. There was time, space, and opportunity for that problem to get dropped off, released back into the ethers, right? So that you can move forward and make some good new mistakes. So the physical body, spiritual practitioners will attest to this. Most tarot readers will tell you when they're reading the cards, they all get a tickle from their nose. It's a fact. Why? Because they're ascending. They're going to the highest white light. So their physical body is grounded, but the spiritual body is being elevated. It is a phenomenal process. And we go through it over and over and over and over and over again. Because at every level, there's going to be new things and new things you got to release. Figuratively speaking, at new levels, new devils is what they say. But oftentimes, it's you that you fighting. It ain't nothing else. Yeah, that new level is something powerful. So when you see someone who is glowing, who is disciplined, who is patient, who is kind, know that they have attained that level because they were obedient and disciplined. Because those spiritual gifts, those spiritual upgrades don't just come because you say, oh, divine, can I get a spiritual upgrade? Yeah, you can. You absolutely can. You ready? And then boom, here's what's about to happen. Snatched my voice all the way, gone. I'm like, oh, Lord. So, the mind will play tricks on you if you allow it to. But the reality is, a lot of what it imagines is not even real, especially if the physical body is under attack from an emotion. When they say stay high, stay high. When they say, whoever they is, we love they, never met they, but they have a lot to say. When they say stay in good vibes, think positive, those are real energies to obsessively, compulsively pursue. One should be obsessively pursuing that. Least you die unnecessarily, prematurely to things that you weren't able to let go of. So this is why forgiveness needs to happen immediately before it turns into unforgiveness that then becomes resentment, and then resentment sets in the body, and that's where we get all the static and all that nastiness that we don't want. Running off to the doctor trying to say, hey, what's going on? It's not what's wrong with you. I heard a famous practitioner say one time, Louise Hay, who I love so much, God rest her soul. She's one of my favorite practitioners. She helped me so much on my journey. I never got a chance to meet her, but beautiful, beautiful human being. But she said one time, she was like, it's not, what's wrong with you. It's who's wrong with you. My grandmother said to me one time, she calls me Pooh. She said, Pooh, everybody that I'm mad at is dead. Everybody that she's mad at is dead. Do you know at the time I heard that, I ran with that. And that's when I really learned to let things go. Because I'm thinking, shoot, you almost 90. At the time when she told me she was almost 90. She's well into her 90s now, I do believe. And I love learning from other people. I'm never too far gone in my wisdom that I would think, oh, well, if I do that, that won't happen to me. No, I appreciate the people that have made the great mistakes so that we don't have to make them, right? Don't let your ego get ahead of you. Oh, that'll never happen to me. Right. So many people said that and they smoked crack and now they cracked out. Exactly. Don't go down the unnecessary rabbit hole. So when she said that, I downloaded that. And it taught me I had to get over things quickly. I had to forgive fast. I had to release quickly, let things go fast. I didn't want to be the person that had held on to any anger far beyond the time that I was supposed to give that my attention, only to say everybody that I'm mad at is dead, right? Because I'm the best version of my grandmother. That's the purpose for having offsprings. They need to be better than you. They need to get through their lessons faster than you. So that is the message, the physical aspect. So after I lost my voice, I was forced to just lay down. And I was thinking, God, I miss my voice. The one day I decided to start singing again, I sang so beautifully, you know, my voice is gone. Because at that level, there was something that I was holding, some kind of a resentment, fear, anger, could have been a combination of the two. I'm not sure. Because I'm honestly still under review with it as far as I feel in my body. And my voice left. And I was like, oh no, God, wait, what? So a really good friend of mine said, oh, I can't imagine you not being able to talk. Oh, God. You know, my friend said, you need to get some rest. You do a lot. The hardest thing for somebody who is an overachiever and just loves life, and somebody that's finally embarking on their path, is for us to sit down. And I had to sit down. I had to be still, unplug, and let my throat heal. So I told it, look, you got to heal. Whatever we're holding there, whatever is got us by the throat, it's time to let it go. That experience has no more power beyond this point. And so then my body was very obedient. My body began to heal. But I thought the just the irony behind the fact that the one day I decided, let me sing a song. I used to sing because I loved singing because it felt good. Not for anybody else, but just myself. And then people would hear me, like I said. So it's really interesting. But the physical aspect of that. So when you start to feel uh, certain things in your physical body, sometimes it's not coming from other people. It could very much be coming from a purge. How else are those energies supposed to get out of you? How else are you supposed to be delivered from those things unless they find a way out of your ear gate, your eye gate, your mouth gate? Those things have to come out. It's called deliverance. So, with that being said, Spirit is giving the collective, the people truly working on themselves, walking the path, giving us new gifts. One moment. Giving us new gifts and downloads and upgrades. So the physical body is also being upgraded. Now, the physical body will constantly need to get on board with every level that you go to: death, transformation, and rebirth. Excuse me. And you do yourself a service when you demand and you put things in order for your physical body to be on board with where your mind is going. It's not about anything or anybody trying to hold you back at all. Absolutely not. This is greater than that. This is about overcoming self, not being in a fight with yourself, not being your own first worst enemy, but literally mastering that level and overcoming yourself. Now, are there some things, people, and places and appetites that want you to stay down at that old level? Absolutely. This is where the work comes in. This is where releasing the addictions come in. And addictions doesn't always have to be drugs and alcohol. Some of us are responsible with what we drink, right? Addictions is something that you can't let go of. It could be a relationship. It could be a way of thinking. Hell, so apply that as it resonates. Apply it as needed. With that being said, this is the message. So I'm going to do more parts to this. I'm actually going to do a series talking about metaphysics, the physical body, and lining everything up with these chakras that we have, the solar plex, the root chakra. In my case, it was the throat chakra. And I was forced to uncover the things in my physical body that were still literally wrapped around my neck. Interesting process. So that's the message to meditate on: the physical body. Literally allowing the universe just to carry you. Burdens are light. Light enough that they float away from your physical body. So that's where we are. But nevertheless, I appreciate your time. I thank you for being here, for all of my subscribers. I got 9 subscribers. I'm super excited about it. Thank you. And to anybody that's just listening, I thank you. I hope all is well. And as I always say, we're not going to make it out of this thing called life alive. So peace be with you.